Today I'm talking about the law of assumption, written on and taught by Neville Goddard, who's written extensively on the subject, lots of methods and just ways of thinking about this. But at a high level, what the law of assumption states is that what you want to be as part of your reality, you must already assume and expect and act like as if you're already having it. Now, this can be incredibly powerful for recreating your reality and really bringing massive amounts of abundance into your life. But there is a way in which to go about this. And if you haven't done the preparatory work, if you haven't prepared to start using the law of assumption correctly and understood a few things that I'm going to go over in this video, it could self-sabotage you from using this law effectively and actually being effective with the law of assumption. And so by the end of the video, you will understand exactly what you need to do to get out of your own way. You will have a new way of thinking about the law of assumption, and you're going to begin to use this law very effectively. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. So something you probably never heard about with the law of assumption is morphic fields. It's a study in science that's gaining traction now that states everything from the largest galaxies to the smallest things on the atomic level have a morphic field, a field of knowledge around them that shapes their beliefs and their reality like sort of deep grooves in the snow. Understanding this theory helped me identify some blocks that I actually had with the law of assumption that were sort of self-sabotaging my ability to get those things. So morphic fields at a high level, you can just understand these are influences that extend through and beyond space and time that have influences on the structures around them. There's a morphic field that's around you that's shaped by your beliefs and how you've acted on those beliefs over and over and over again. I'm going to give you some examples here shortly. There's also morphic fields for things like crystals that have had a certain way of arranging themselves over time, over millennia. And you can assume a quartz crystal forming in the ground today will be forming in the same way as if it formed a million years ago. This has created a very grounded understanding of reality of how that crystal came to be. You have a very grounded sense of reality in how your reality came to be. Now, when we change our beliefs and change how we're acting on those beliefs, we end up changing the morphic field. And you can think of kind of being on a train track and hopping over to a different train track. Now you're in a different track of reality because you changed your beliefs and you changed the way you're acting on those beliefs. Now, new systems have an increasing tendency to come into being the more that they're practiced and repeated over and over and over again. So if you have a new assumption that you've created, there's a new thing you want to assume about your reality, which is true. Let's say you assume that you want to be making 10K a month, and right now you make 5K a month. Well, you can assume that, but your actions also have to be in line with that. And you have to start repeating those actions over and over again, even if there's small actions that you're taking towards making that $10,000. And in repeating it over and over and over again, asking yourself, if I was making $10,000 a month, would I be doing this? How would I be waking up in the morning? This is my reality reflection exercise that I talked about earlier. And stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to this channel because I will be releasing something here very shortly in regards to the reality reflection exercise. But let's hop back to your assumptions and the law of assumption. So new systems are going to be governed by new beliefs. When you choose new beliefs, you create new systems for your life. And when you keep taking actions around those beliefs over and over again, you create a new morphic field, which attracts new things into your reality to match that field. This kind of calls back to quantum physics and how these quantum fields get developed around every aspect of our being, all the way from galaxies, all the way down to subatomic molecules. And it reminds me of a Hermetic quote from the Kabbalion, and it's one of the principles from the Kabbalion that states, as above, so below, as within, so without. It's stating that these fields exist from all levels of reality, all the way down to these very small subatomic levels, all the way to, who knows, galaxies, right? But you also have morphic fields for your arm, morphic fields for your, ranchers have even found with cattle, you'll notice they have cattle guards on the road across bridges. They're little areas where there's long pipes that run across the road, and it's very sort of painful for the cows to walk over it. So it fences them in. They don't want to walk over that, and they don't want to feel that sensation. So they avoid it. But over generations and generations and generations, the ranchers have found out something interesting. They found that if they put tape down where the cattle guards normally are, and the tape looking just like those bars, the cattle will still not want to cross because they already have the trained fixed belief that if they are to walk across these cattle guards, it'll be extremely painful for them. And even more interesting than that, the calves who are brand new, baby calves, baby cows, know nothing about the world, will still avoid the cattle guards through this generational knowledge, this morphic field that the cows have adopted through their beliefs and the system that they've been part of. And just like the cows, we create these systems of beliefs within ourselves. If we don't address those beliefs, let's say you grew up thinking that money is evil, and here you have an assumption using the law of assumption. You've adopted an assumption that you are going to make, let's say, $10,000 a month. But deep down inside of you, you have this deep belief that money is evil. Those two things are going to conflict with each other. And because you've been carrying money as evil with you for so long, that is part of your morphic field. So in order for you to actually accept the assumption and act in line with the assumption that you're going to be making $10,000 a month, you must first address the belief that money is not evil. You must reverse that belief and create a new one, ideally. And when you choose that new belief, you have now started up a new system for a new morphic field. And if you keep acting in alignment with that new belief, you start creating a new groove, a new track for you to go on. And that track will lead you to what you've assumed, which is your $10,000 a month. So you must examine your past patterns of behavior when you're doing this, and make sure you're not subconsciously blocking yourself from getting the things you're assuming that are coming to you. I see so many people online that try and apply this law of assumption and start assuming that things are going to come to their life and acting in accordance as if they already have it, that it's already on their way to them. Yet they get frustrated. It's because they're subconsciously self-sabotaging themselves through a morphic field that they've been holding on to their whole life and attracting the things that they've subconsciously identified with. See, projecting your past patterns into future behavior is going to be one of the biggest blocks to using the law of assumption. And so that one must be addressed if you're going to be successful in using the law of assumption, in manifesting and attracting all the wealth and abundance I believe you deserve in your life. Well, with that being said, friends, try this out, examine your beliefs. I'm going to have a reality reflection workbook coming out shortly, so subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and that will become available to you. I appreciate you watching here today. Until next time, peace.